Okay, I don't care who's on it. And so, what guaranteed that after the donors come, that you won't sneak away at night? What can we tell the people? We need to hear something from you.
We're not taking.
It's a violation of public
Yeah,
trust.
we're not accepting wires without walls. Let's get that clear in NAACP.
No, we're not.
Okay,
We need
we're
a
not
central
accepting it.
location.
We want to stand by what our resolution is and what we feel, that we want this building to stay open. And that's what the question is. But one thing is, if you do shut the building down, are you going to put the building up for sale? And how much would you sell the building for? If you do shut it down? I heard nothing about that. I just heard you're just going to shut it down, that's it. And I hope you don't just leave a vacant building.
Like in Gilbertsville.
Yeah.
That's actually
We
on the
don't know
market.
what's wrong.
Yeah, it's on the market.
Well, you're gonna put this one up for sale, how much would you sell it for?
I received information that was for sale.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we're not trying.
Yeah,
No,
that's what's
I
going
know,
on.
but you can't mischaracterize it as like.
Okay,
you didn't do it.
this building, I don't
I would
live in.
assume, I mean, I would assume,
No one buy it.
I don't know.
That's something, that you don't have to answer that,
So
right?
you mean to tell me that you decided to close this building, you haven't discussed anything what you're gonna do with the building afterwards? Is that what you're saying?
No, there are a range of options, right? We could try
No,
to sell
excuse
it.
me, I don't mean options. We know there are options. I'm saying you telling us right here that you're gonna shut this building down, and you haven't decided what you're gonna do with this building afterwards? I don't think anybody was born last night.
Now, if you,
That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, you know, the assumption is if the building's not gonna be used, like if I'm leaving my house,
I don't want an
I'm not
assumption.
gonna let it sit there.
I don't, excuse me, I don't want an assumption. I would like to know, or the answer is, the question is, are you telling us that you're gonna shut this building down, you're going to, and you haven't talked about what you're gonna do with this building once it's shut down? You haven't discussed that? Nothing?
we have,
You have?
yes.
And what is
That's
it?
what we're saying. There's a range of options that we're looking at right now, but the assumption would be that if you don't need it anymore, you would put it on the market for sale. Is that?
So you would put it on the market for sale, but we don't wanna go anywhere.
Understood.
And where would the proceeds go?
As I said,
If you were ever to sell, because this building would not be sellable.
You got, according to you,
I
got
didn't
feasible to.
Yes, you just said the building is falling apart. This building can't be sold.
As Paul just said, there are many options on the table. You've got 38, 40 board members. So there's gonna be a lot of vetting on which direction we would go in. And that's the truth.
So since they decided to close it in October, that hasn't been discussed at a board meeting since?
No, we didn't say discussing any decisions.
So what did you discuss? That's what we're saying. You keep evading the answer, telling them we have some things out there, so what was discussed?
In other words, abide by the mission
Cut the
statement
camera off.
and be honest.
We can turn the camera off.
And be considerate.
We would like to know, this is affecting us, because like Johnny said, you never know who's going to be out there willing to help to keep this building here. So I'm asking you for what was discussed.
So
If
what
you're not at liberty to say so, just say it.
just tell us. We respect, we don't want to jam
There
your
might be
board up. We don't want
somebody
to
out
jam you
there-
up on your board up.
There
You
might be
cannot tell us, just say, at this time, we cannot share that with you. And I respect you, because if you ask me something and that we cannot share it with you, I'm not afraid to say we cannot share that. So if you cannot share it, just give us respect and say, no, we cannot share that, then we move on.
And if the building isn't sellable.
I'm not trying to jam you up, Sean, because you can take a beat with that head up that it is. I want to.
There might be people out there willing to make those necessary corrections to keep this place open. When you put it out there, you won't know until you put it out there. You know, it's like when you're having a yard sale. You want to get rid of some stuff, you put it out there. People want to come by, they're going to buy it.
Have you solicited grants or anything to compensate?
We've looked at a range of options, and I'm going to take your suggestion. At this point, can't share what the
Okay.
options are.
Respect that.
All right.
That's fine, no problem.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah.
We're here to get along. We're here to unite, not incite. We're here to unite.
Yeah.
We want the Y to stay in town, and we'd like for you guys to manage the Y and maintain the Y. That's the bottom line.
Because I really thought we were grown. When you put that new gym in upstairs, I was like, wow, this place is taking off. And my wife called, didn't you and I join?
You know,
We rejoined because of the money you invested in that gym, which was disheartening to me that you decided to shut down. It's like, why did you shut down after you put that money into it?
But it just seems to me like over the years, just like you maintain your home, you know, don't all of us live in brand new homes. You allocate money to keep things refurbished and keep things renewed so you can maintain your home and live in there safely and peaceful. You know what I mean? So you would think that whoever purchased the building, when it was purchased, that money should have been allocated for things that needed to be refurbished over a period of time.
Budget.
You know,
So, just to clarify, and with respect to your comment around money and what have you, if at the end of the day, while everybody needs to pay the bills, ultimately it shouldn't be about money. So, and also with respect, time the merger happened, like, it's not a purchase, like nothing was bought or sold, just the two organizations came together and all the things. So I just want to make sure people understood, like, nobody paid any money for the Y or anything like that. They just merged and came together. To your point, they accepted an obligation to sustain the building, and they have kept the operation going. And unfortunately, to your point, some of the preventive maintenance that probably should have been done 15, 20, 10 years ago, it's been cumulative, and that should have been done. Whatever. And you know, I don't mean to focus on the money. I truly believe that, you know, we ought to be about, you know, programs and service deliveries and youth and families and trying to make a difference. We have this challenge called building, and I guess that's maybe why the numbers were discussed so much. So I apologize for that, but I also want to make sure that I answered all your questions.
Yeah, because it's getting late, so before we wrap it up, I want to keep holding people. I'm tired of talking. So I'm going to ask, he's a bishop, so he's a minister, so he loves being in front of people talking. I'm going to ask him to read what NAACP stands for in this last part of the resolution is what our stance is. And on the back part too.
And wait till I start getting some of those positions.
Bishop, before you get started, if it was ever considered that that the Y was to build a new building here in Pottstown, which would be great, that this Y is maintained until a new Y is built and ready to use. You know, if that would be possible. If this Y could maintain its existence as is, people could come in and use it. And if a new Y is being considered here for Pottstown, that this building is maintained until that time.
Thank you for taking that into consideration.
Okay. Moreover, the NAACP Branch 2288 urges Freedom Valley YMCA to keep the Pottstown building open permanently. And moreover, the CEO of the Freedom Valley YMCA or the appropriate leadership should explain publicly his mission-driven commitment to Pottstown, and moreover, that Freedom Valley YMCA commit the financial resources to renovate the YMCA building infrastructure, including boilers, to the level promised in 2007 merger agreement. And moreover, if the Freedom Valley cannot commit to renovation of the current building, it agrees to construct a new facility in the borough of Pottstown. And moreover, if Freedom Valley YMCA cannot commit to the construction of the new facility in the borough, the partnership with the borough community and the borough of Pottstown shall be considered terminated. And moreover, if the Freedom Valley YMCA cannot commit to the preservation of the Pottstown YMCA, the building should be turned over to the Borough of Pottstown for purposes as the borough sees fit, and moreover, understand, under these circumstances, if and when the building is turned over to the Borough of Pottstown, Freedom Valley YMCA pay the borough the amount of $7.6 million that will be used to renovate the building and launch its restart. And moreover, if the Freedom Valley YMCA determines to remain in Pottstown and continue its partnership with the community, either preserving the current building or building a new one, Freedom Valley YMCA should add 5 board members who would represent Pottstown, Gibbertsville, Boyertown, and Priscilla. That is.
And if you do turn the building over to us, we would like to have a structural report of the building and also environmental report of the building. Make sure there's no health hazards that are hitting anywhere that will come back to make the citizens of Pottstown liable. That's just added by me.
I know you have several options and you said you cannot discuss them, and is this on your list?
And Sean, if you guys have nothing else to say, may I please answer?
Can I ask one question? I'm sorry, John.
Yes, go ahead.
The 7.6, what's the baseline for that? Just out of curiosity.
Larry's on hand that, he can answer that.
No, I can't answer that because I am not a historian when it comes to the Pottstown YMCA.
Yeah, but you take
That was-
notes all the time.
That was, I take notes, but it's not a history lesson.
That was the asset value when we turned it over.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that have been 07?
the 07 though.
Well, let us all check. Oh, that's, check.
You can write me one too.
Yeah. But, Madam President, would you like to speak? Do you have any comments, or thank you for supporting us? And
You're welcome. I just had a couple of questions. You had, well, not you, but there was mention of campaigns. When, what did they say, that the merger happened in 2013, I believe that's correct?
There was one in 2007 and there was one in 2015.
Within that time period, the young lady spoke about campaigns. Were there ever any campaigns that spoke to helping maintain the building? Because I understand, most campaigns are about running and keeping the services and things over, but what attention was made to focus on the building? Most churches have building funds, so was there ever a building fund set aside to say, hey, we need to focus in on some of these repairs?
I'm sorry, I don't know, but I could find the answer and ask. I don't know whether there was a building campaign back then.
Because maybe that could have helped offset some of the costs. I think the cost they said was like $200,000 a year or something. I think that was a number that was thrown out, I may be wrong. But then also, if Freedom Valley is looking to dispose of or get rid of this site because of the funds that are being lost and being driven around numbers, was there consideration to maybe bring in another YMC company to take over?
No, there wasn't a consideration, and I'm not sure who that would be. Just to be clear, this isn't about the operating deficit, it's about the building itself. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands it's our desire to deliver service. And I know that's not acceptable, and that's not what you want to hear, but it was our intent and desire to deliver service just outside this building. For example, we'd like to rent a new wellness or fitness place where families and youth and people can go. It's just that the building here is not sustainable. We also have committed to running our summer camps. We're still in before and after school programs, the PEAK program and all that. It's a building issue, and that's what we're struggling with.
To rent some, to go in agreement for rental, that's time limited for your services. If the facility, you come into a contract and something happens there, then you have to look for another facility to place your your program. Okay? And over the long period of time, the money that is spent into the rental, would not that turn around and, not saying that you have to repair everything at one time here, but at least start on something. At this point, I don't see where you're starting or anything, and that you're just gonna seal the doors, because it's money being wasted. But yet, if we get contributors, you would take that money and consider the stadium. So you say it's not about money, but it is, to some extent. It is. And I think, and as we were talking about the campaign, we talked about there was a campaign over the last 5 years, and that was $1.5 million, but Pottstonians didn't see this campaign.
Well, it was about $1.1 million over the last 5 years, was given by people in and around Pottstown. It included money from the Pottstown Health and Wellness Foundation, et cetera.
But it was
And
not
and all that money was spent here.
Okay, but it was not a community effort. It was just from specific donors. It was nothing,
Well, it was from members and from people that are non-members. So to the extent, no, we would consider that a community campaign.
okay, all right, so you never engaged the entire community on your campaign.
Well, we reached out to lots of people in the community.
Did you do it by the media?
I'm sure there was some coverage around the fundraising. I can't speak specifically to that. Maybe perhaps.
John, I can tell you, I gave a lot of money to Y. I know a lot of people who contributed to Y. They haven't heard from the Y in years for contributions. I mean, I know one of the largest donors in this area who gave millions and haven't heard from Y in 10 years. So to say you reached out to contributors, I think is, I know quite a few who have not heard a word. They thought everything was fine.
How
Maybe
in
we'll-
touch with Freedom Valley with the actual citizens? You said that you have donors, and we understand that, but again, those donors, I highly doubt those donors with the millions and the thousands and even the hundreds live in town. And to bring the community out, to bring the community together, they may come together. It is an important spot. You've got to give the people, the opportunity to actually show how important it is. I mean, this might look different if there was an event here and 5,000 people showed up. It would look really different if we were closing the place down. But nobody in the community knows the impact it's going to have because they're hoping that we save it. They're not hoping, with no disrespect, they're not hoping for the giant. They're not hoping for satellite sites that are rented and constantly moving around this stability.
I have a question. Would those donors be willing to come forward and draft a letter to Freedom? Those donors that haven't heard from Freedom?
I'm sure.
I think that would help Sean and some of the board members, that we have donors out there who haven't heard from them and who would love to donate. Then he wouldn't have to write me out that big check.
And yes, and if there are some donors that are coming,
That's a new, I didn't know that. I'm
Go
sorry, I
with-
didn't know that.
Is it possible that there is a statement coming from you that the monies that are coming in are designated just for Pottstown? That it would not go to Phoenixville, would not go to any other place?
We would, any monies that are donated here, we would provide in writing, and I can assure you, any monies donated for Pottstown, stay in Pottstown. We'd be more than happy to provide that information, written guarantee, whether he,
I'm gonna get this young man home. Oh, go ahead, Tom. I'm gonna get him home to his
I
family.
just wanted to say, our story here in Pottstown is unique. Maybe we should do a national story on trying to maintain our Y here in Pottstown. Do a GoFundMe drive on keeping our Y open here in Pottstown.
Well, with that,
Our township is unique.
Okay.
I'm doing that.
Okay, I have one more question. I'm gonna let you go. Just don't ask me. No more questions. What about the board's due diligence of maintaining building and the board's fiduciary responsibility for fundraisers for the Pottstown Y? And if there was a board rep from Pottstown, do we have board reps from Pottstown on the board? And if we had some board reps on there, maybe we won't be here, because they
Mark
were.
Excellent, we're going to lose a lot of board members.
Mark Axel. I know Scott had an engineer firm, I don't know Mark, unless he was, I know Mark, that may be Scott's brother, but there were no board members on,
It's not.
there was no board members on from Pottstown, so maybe that's why we're where we are. You know,
Mark?
that would have helped it, would have brought the, would have had,
I would say the board member from Pottstown did a fair job of
Okay.
expressing how important it was.
Mark Excellent.
And just one thing, I joined the Y in July, so I'm not even a year in, and there was a lot of thought put into this, and what I would say, based on what I'm hearing from you, we clearly missed some of the community sentiment, but we didn't sit down and just say, there's a money issue, we're done. We sat down and said, there's significant money gap. Do we think that there's gonna be a way to generate enough funds to overcome? And we said no. And then we said, what is important? Keeping the services here, clearly naively, and to be fair to the community, I can understand what it's like for this building to be gone, but we didn't go in a room and conspire to leave here. Quite the contrary, we're trying to stay. And here's what we said. We said that the one thing that the Y does is special, as a guy who's coming from outside the Y, is we allow parents to work. And so we said the first thing we're gonna do is find a childcare location. And I can tell you, and again, probably naively, when we found this location, we were like, wow, we can now provide parents a way to work, a place for them to leave their children. By the way, with 112 kids that we have here now, all but one have signed up at the new location. Similarly, for the wellness, again, maybe not fully thought through, we said similarly, we want to find a place for folks to work out. We tried to find real estate here for the child care center. We weren't successful. That doesn't mean we couldn't have tried harder, but again, with good intent, we said if we create a task force with the folks from the community, they will help us find a place to put our services. Now, good, bad, or indifferent, that's not what happened. And maybe we should have thought better. But again, we said, who better to help us figure this out than the community? We got it wrong. We said you deserve it. You said, what about an apology? I will tell you, I'm sorry. That doesn't happen, but I'm not sorry that we thought enough and with good intent to try and preserve what we had here, and that there was a thing such as a Y without walls. At the highest level in a Y, that's what's talked about now, which is in some ways the future where we're landlocked. You can't find 90,000 square feet in many places now. The idea is that we do want to provide child care, we do want to be able to provide wellness, we do want to provide a place for kids to play, but it may not all be under the same roof. That's just
And that's not why,
right.
and that's not the why, that your mission is representing.
Well,
And that's not the why.
Right.
That you were used to, or I was used to, or anyone else was used to, why go here or why go there?
Yeah.
And that's not the why. And if economic times and the sign of the times is changing all that, then you need to go change your name not to why.
Yeah,
From something else.
Well, here's what I would say. Fair enough. I do know churches are now run out of strip malls, a way to find God in a strip mall, not in a chapel. And so the world